Welcome back, everyone. This is Dave from the Korman Productions Deep Dive Podcast. My co-host Stacie here to talk about Revival, Season 1, Episode 10, titled Rend the Veil. This is the season finale of Season 1.
Season finale. We're finally here.
I know. Hopefully this is not the series finale. Hopefully we will be getting a Season 2.
I really hope not.
Yes. Alright, so the episode's description reads as follows. In this shocking season finale, Dana and Em uncover the horrifying truth about Revival Day. But at an unimaginable cost, it changes the Cypress family and Wasa forever. You know, I think it's important to note the important journey that I've been on in the fact that by the final episode of the season, I finally am able to pronounce the town's name correctly.
Well, you've got the right syllables, but your inclination's still a little weird.
Oh, okay. Well, we still got next week, but we'll talk about that in a second. So, the series was created by Aaron Kuntz and Luke Boyce, and the episode was written by Aaron Kuntz and Luke Boyce. The episode was directed by Samir Rahem. Before going further, I'll tell you a couple things. One, this is on Support Free Podcast. If you haven't watched the episode, I highly recommend you go check it out, and then come back and give us some listen. Secondly, if you're listening on the platforms that this podcast is now available on, please follow. And feel free to check out our YouTube channel, Korman Productions, where additional content can be discovered. If you're already on our YouTube channel, please like, share, and comment, and subscribe to our channel. Alright, so, shout-outs this week.
Okay.
We got your very own husband, Adam S. Wilcox, who celebrated his 45th birthday yesterday.
And we had a long, busy day of celebrating.
Yeah, you did. I was only there for about half of it. Actually,
you were there for a good chunk of it.
Yeah. I would make fun of him for being old, but I'm not that far behind him, so I'm going to refrain. All right, so one thing before getting into it, next week we are going to do a Season 1 wrap-up, talking about the larger themes and where we are with the plot throughout Season 1, talking about Season 1 as a whole. We'll be doing that next week. We'll be doing a little bit of that this week, but yeah, our bigger discussion.
We'll get deeper into that our overall thoughts next week.
All right, so Stacie, your thoughts on the season finale of Revival?
So this is a lot. There's an awful lot going on in this episode. We finally get some answers. They were right. They give us answers in this episode. They're not leaving the big questions hanging, which is really refreshing. Because if we don't get a Season 2, we're not going to be left going, but what was Revival Day? What was the creature? Who killed Em? And that would suck, right?
It would.
We got answers to those questions. Do we know everything? No. Are there still questions? Absolutely. Do we want more? Yes. But it still wrapped up, not necessarily wrapped up, but it still gave us some insights on what is going on. And it gave us some really rewarding scenes between those characters. And I like that we're not just playing on the mystery of it.
So, let me ask you a question. If, God forbid, this is the series finale, are you satisfied?
I mean, I'm not ever going to be satisfied, right? Because I love the show. I love covering the show. We've gotten to become friends with the creators and some of the cast, and it would suck if this journey ends here.
Right,
I really want more. But, story-wise, it wouldn't be one of those ones where the season just can't stand on its own. Like, there's some shows out there, one season wonders, where you literally can't watch it because it doesn't go anywhere, right?
Right.
And it's like there's no point in watching one of those. This isn't that. This is still watchable in and of itself as a season, if that's all that ever happens.
Now, I do really like the finale. I've watched it multiple times now, of course, to take notes on this.
Yep.
I still don't necessarily know that I fully understand it.
Right. It's still a little... It's busy.
Right.
There's a lot of plot given to us in this short... I don't know how many minutes this was. 40-something minutes. The first time we both watched this, we went, what? I gotta watch that again.
Right.
We got that classic Lost meme. Gotta watch that again.
Right. It's kind of funny because we recently talked about how we watched Revealer and decided not to cover it because we didn't think that we were in a place to cover its themes. We don't really necessarily have the knowledge base in order to do that. I kind of feel like almost that here.
Yeah,
a lot of it deals with spiritualness.
There is like some religion stuff. But I also think it's not necessarily like just straightforward religion.
No,
there's like
absolutely
some
not,
weird like deeper stuff that I think most people don't know what they're talking about.
Right.
I mean, that's the whole point, is the people that did this are like cuckoo crazy.
Right.
And are following some really, really deep cut lore and myths and then applying science to it, and boof, here's what happened.
Right. It's interesting because Blaine, throughout the season, I barely understand anything he says because he's mainly talking in Bible verses.
Right.
So, or like, talking religious themes that I don't have any kind of basis or knowledge of.
Right.
So half the time I'm listening to Blaine going, I don't know what you're talking about, but okay. you say with conviction, so you must mean it. But yeah, anything else to say before diving into the finale?
It's kind of like two parts, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like, we have all the action stuff happen in the first, like, 2/3 of the episode.
Yeah.
And then the last, like, third of the episode's almost like
an extended epilogue.
Like an epilogue, yeah. Which was different than I think we're used to seeing in a season finale.
Yeah.
Often you'll get that for, like, 2 or 3 minutes, a scene or two.
Right.
But this was like many, many scenes of like the aftermath.
It's almost like they were themselves hedging their bets as to whether they were coming back or not.
It was kind of a weird tone shift. It was a little unsettling.
Right.
But I think that's part of it.
Right.
Because if you were to think about this situation, what would it feel like in the aftermath?
Right.
It would feel like everything's just a little off kilter.
Right.
For these people.
Yeah, absolutely.
And then, of course, at the very end, we have a,
right.
Moment that definitely makes us want a season 2.
Right.
To figure out what the heck that's all about.
Right.
So, all the beats are there. It's different than most season finales that you expect to watch.
Right.
It's not like action packed the entire 45 minutes.
Right.
It's got,
and I do appreciate that.
Yeah, it's got, again, a lot of storytelling and just a lot of different emotions that you can go through. And I really hope the audience responds to that in a positive way.
Absolutely.
And I hope the network responds to this in a positive way and gives us a season 2 announcement very soon. I'm hopeful.
Like right now, right this second.
Or at the very least, don't give us a cancellation immediately.
Right.
Take your time and think about it.
Yeah,
okay?
yeah.
Like, let's not be hasty.
Sleep on it.
Let's not be hasty, NBCUniversal, please.
Right. All right. So the episode begins with Blaine's voiceover. He's doing a radio show, apparently broadcasting what he's doing to M, which does not seem too smart to me, but Blaine is not a horribly smart guy.
Yeah.
I mean, he's not a dumb guy, but he's not a smart guy either. He has M tied up in chains onto something that looks something resembling a cross. Tyler ends up injecting M with snake venom.
Yep, it's not the water. We were questioning last week if it was the water or the venom. It was not the water.
Right. As Blaine sings a song, we have a shot of Abraham sitting there quietly as he's in handcuffs, and Blaine gets all up and close and personal with M and smiles. You know, I'm starting to think that Blaine has some serious boundary issues. Like, seriously, getting that close into people's space, he does it all the time. And smiling, that tends to make people a little bit uncomfortable. So, Blaine, that's something you might want to work on. Anyway.
I mean, that's his whole goal, right? Is to make people uncomfortable.
I mean, fair enough. And then we have our credits.
We also had during that, M said something about, like, hey, you didn't keep me down last time, you're not going to this time. And he reinforces, he's like, I never laid a hand on you. He's like, I didn't kill you.
Right.
But I'm going to now.
Yes. So, after the credits, Blaine continues to babble about how his dad foresaw the events of Revival Day and angels visiting him, and one of the angels spoke to him saying Rose's name.
Which, what?
I don't know what he's talking about either, but then again, that's, like I said, true of almost everything that Blaine says. Abraham laughs and calls that confirmation bias.
Yeah, you heard Rose's name because you wanted to hear Rose's name, which, yeah, I haven't seen any evidence that the creatures actually make recognizable words.
Right. So, yeah, these scenes with Abraham and Blaine, once again, are very interesting. Like, I really do appreciate the chemistry between these two actors who have not acted together almost the entirety of the season before the last episode.
Right.
Blaine talks about an angel obliterating a reviver, which of course is, what's her name?
Wanda.
And Abraham says he saw something like that happen too, but it was not an act of damnation, but one of reunion. Abraham says he wants his father to be right so badly, he's willing to kill people to do it. He's not sure if that's a leap of faith or fear. Blaine calls for his dudes.
And says Doug by name, so we finally get Doug's name. Yep. He calls out specifically for Doug and Clarice.
Yep. But they are laying down in the job, or at least Clarice is. We don't see anybody else besides her.
We only see Clarice down. But I definitely feel like the intent is these people didn't make it.
Right. At least one of at least one of them is dead. Either way, they do not have the angel. He sends his goons to the creek to see what's going on. Abraham asks about the reviver he tortured and what her name was, and Blaine says that her name died when she did. What she came back wasn't her. Abraham asks her what Wanda said repeatedly in the video, and Tyler answers, saying, "It's not mine." She kept saying, "It's not mine." He says that in Islam, when a person dies, the soul separates from the body and enters a transitional state before moving on from one life to the next. He suggests that what if M's death broke that barrier? And Blaine, who's now sitting in a pew, I think that's what it's called, right? A pew.
Yeah.
Sitting directly behind Abraham, says, "Well, that is a bold and spiritual hypothesis from a man of science." And Abraham answers that science is about being open to change when presented with new evidence. He tells Blaine that he witnessed something he can't explain and assigned a variable based on conjecture. Oh, snap. Did you hear that burn from Abraham? That must have hurt real bad. Anyway.
Well, as much as we don't understand anything Blaine is saying, I don't think Blaine understands anything that Abraham says to him.
Right. They don't necessarily speak the same language. Yeah. Because one is speaking science talk and the other is deeply into religion. And yet, they seem to have some kind of grudging respect for each other. Blaine calls himself a man of conviction who will not stand idly by as the gates of hell are at his doorstep. Well, good for you, Blaine. Wayne and Dana at the church sneak up on a couple of Wayne's goons.
Yeah, because remember, Lester called them, and so they're trying to get here before the military gets here. So they're trying to sneak up on the men. Everybody has guns raised, but then
Lester blows their cover by calling for them and getting them caught by Blaine's goons at gunpoint. I'm going to ask, because, based on what we learn later, do we think Lester did this on purpose?
You have to think he did.
I don't understand why exactly.
But he's also getting caught at the same time.
Right.
I know why. I'm going to tell you why.
Okay.
Because M's inside.
Okay.
He needs access to M.
Right.
So he's using them to get in with him.
Okay.
If he got caught by himself, he'd be in a worse situation.
Gotcha.
But having Dana and Wayne there, getting caught with him, is going to give him better odds of leaving here with M.
All right.
Which is his ultimate goal. Although I don't know why he didn't just take M at any point during the last 6 weeks.
Right. I don't know. I guess maybe it was about timing. But either way.
Oh, actually, I know the answer to that too. See, I keep answering my own questions.
Well, there we go. You answered one of my questions first.
Because M's creature just arrived.
Oh, yeah.
Last night.
Right, okay.
So he didn't have any use for her until that got here.
Gotcha.
So he's been waiting for that.
All right. So they are brought into the church. Wayne and Blaine.
Yeah, they don't make it easy to talk about people in this show. We got Wayne and Blaine. We got May and Kay.
Right. Basically, they spew insults and threats at each other. Blaine still seems convinced that his angel is going to come to take M. Dana makes a plea suggesting that M healed her and that she is special. In response, Blaine shoots Wayne in the stomach. M ends up breaking free of her chains, and Blaine's like, "What the heck? We injected her with snake venom." And Tyler says that he did not inject her 3 times.
Right, because they didn't know,
right,
or at least Blaine didn't know, that M is special, and we learned from Carla last week that she needs 3 times the dose to have the same effect as the other revivers have.
So M goes to Wayne's side, attempting to heal her father while she cries, but nothing is happening. Blaine, meanwhile, is in the background taunting them, and Dana is basically telling him to shut up. Wayne says he loves them both, fully expecting to die.
Yeah, he's saying his goodbyes.
Right. Until M's hands glow, blackness comes out of her eye or blood. I'm not totally sure what that is.
Yeah, we always took it as blood, and it's funny because we watched episode 6 recently with my husband.
Yes.
His first response is, "Oh, it's black bile coming out of her eyes."
Ah, interesting.
And we were like, "Oh, well, okay, maybe."
Right. I mean, it does look a little blacker than it does red.
Black, but
yeah,
I don't know. Whatever happens to her eyes was happening.
She manages to heal Wayne. She smiles. And then she collapses because at this point she's going to be close to death, or not just straight up dead.
Right. These healing powers she has are quite unfortunate.
Yes.
She just needs to open up a shop at the creek. Do your healings at the creek and you're fine.
Right. I mean, at this point that's a little impractical, but whatever. I mean, what if he dies? Would it be too late at that point, do you think?
I think so.
Okay. So
I mean, we don't know.
Right.
You never know.
Blaine looks shocked. Abraham pleads with him to let him go so he can save her.
Because he has a vial of the water in his pocket. I mean, that would have been helpful earlier.
Right. Shook and sounding less confident, Blaine asks if she's dying. And Abraham continues to plead with him, but Blaine apologizes and says he can't take that risk before raising his gun. I'm not sure who he's going to shoot at this point.
That's exactly what my note says. I'm not sure who he was about to shoot.
But we're never going to find out because the military comes in and starts shooting him. Shooting everyone.
Just shooting.
Yes.
Their guns blazing. They come in and just like everybody's getting shot at. I think Blaine gets shot in the shoulder.
I thought it was his neck at first, but I think you're probably right because if he got shot in the neck, he'd be dead.
Yeah.
Basically. But yeah, basically, they hide behind a bench. Abraham takes everybody else.
Yeah, Wayne and Dana, and they carry M
into some other room,
like a back room, and Lester's tied up there. That's where they put him.
So Abraham injects M with the water, but says they need to get her to the creek. Lester
he has her drink the water.
Oh, right, okay. Lester volunteers to take her to the mill.
And you know what I also noticed Abraham did in this is he refilled the vial with whatever was leaking out of her eyes.
Okay.
I was confused by that. Like, what are you doing with that?
Well, maybe he wants to examine it to find out exactly what it is.
Maybe. But, like, after she drank the water, he held that up to her eyes and was, like, dripping that into it.
Interesting. Probably because he wants to examine it. Okay, so Wayne tells Dana to take M and get... Oh, did I mention the fact that Lester volunteered?
Yeah, I interrupted you. He volunteered to take her to the grist mill, which is nearby, that he owns, because the water there runs downstream from the creek.
Okay, so Wayne tells Dana to take M, get Cooper, and get the heck out of Wausau. I say it right this time?
Yes.
Okay. That he himself will deal with the general. Meanwhile, General not Hale. Kale. I knew it was something along those lines. Enters the church and demands to know where M is. Lester, after a bit of a hike with Dana and M, gives her the keys to his truck. So that she can go and pick up Cooper. That's not the real motivation.
This felt like a really bad idea for them to separate.
Yes.
Should you not go to take care of your sister and then go get your son, who is very safely in the hands of somebody right now?
Right.
And has been for like 3 episodes?
Right.
Why is this the moment you gotta go get him?
Right. Dana says goodbye to M. They talk about the adventure they will take together, but not before getting donuts, of course. Kale, meanwhile, is getting her ass chewed out by her boss.
I assumed it was the governor she was talking to.
Okay.
Because she was like, ma'am.
Gotcha. Wayne smiles, amused. Kale tells her subordinate soldier, I'm pretty sure we've seen him before, that was who?
The talking soldier is Roman.
Roman, okay. That the mission is delayed, but not over. Wayne gives her some shit for losing all the revivers and mowing down 12 civilians at the church to get one of them back. Alright, so typically when you say mowing down civilians, it typically means that you shot and killed a bunch of civilians.
Right.
I don't see that demonstrated.
And we do get hints at that later, that's why things go bad for Kale, is because she got people killed.
But we didn't see that visually,
There were not 12 people. Like, I'm assuming some of Blaine's men died.
Okay.
But I don't think they even showed us 12 of them in total.
Right.
Like, there were like 3 or 4 guys there at this point.
And, I'm not even sure that...
outside of the speaking cast that we know were okay.
Right, yeah. I'm not even sure that the governor or anyone else involved would even care about those 12 civilians, unless it got out somehow.
I mean, and it's going to,
right?
Because we learn at the end that there's investigation going on everything Kale did,
right?
But yeah, I don't see it here,
right? And Wayne is basically like, so you're the one who cleans up messes. Okay, and Kale gets a call from her soldier saying that there's something she needs to see, that he thinks that they found one. And meanwhile, at the mill, which is spookily decorated with candles, this is something I noticed before we knew anything about where Lester was going. I mean, I was somewhat suspicious of this. You pretty much already knew it.
He was my main suspect. I'm going to point that out. Back when did we go through the suspect list? It was 7 or 8 podcasts?
Yes.
And I went through all the males on the call sheet. Who could this person be? And Lester was my main suspect. That's where I landed, is I think it's him. And I think I did pretty good.
You did. And then you got spoiled for it before you actually watched the finale.
I did get spoiled for it by the
I will say that
spoiler list. But
I will say that before we got that spoiler, you had already listed him as your main suspect.
Oh, I definitely did. There's no doubt about that, because we had to wait a really long time before they sent us episodes 9 and 10. And we had not only recorded but gotten that out before. If there's any doubt, I did not know. I just am that good.
You are.
I'm a really good investigator.
Yes. I've always said that you should be working for the FBI or the CIA. Okay, so she's given a mug of water to drink. Presumably this is well water. I mean, not the well water.
This is the grist mill.
Right.
So, I mean, the public-facing Lester was like, "Oh, would that water help?" But really, he knows this is the water. Mm-hmm. Like, he literally bought this place for the water, so we know it's the same water.
He tells Em to rest up, and she lays down. Dana at Lester's girlfriend's house, Jeannie, to pick up.
You know, you asked me her name when you were taking those nights, and you still did it wrong.
Yes, I did. And I didn't even have that in my notes. I just kind of flung it out there. But anyway, she's there to pick up Cooper, who has become withdrawn.
Yeah, this is the first time we've seen Cooper since the beginning of episode 7, by the way. Presumably he's been with Jeannie this entire time, meaning she's missed all of the action at the station and surrounding these people all of this.
Meaning she was also not there for Blaine's escape in the last episode.
Right, we had assumed she was there. She wasn't there. I don't know who was there.
Yeah.
Only the cops who can't talk were there.
Right, I guess so. So she calls Lester, and he says that Em is fine, but she might want to delay coming there because there are soldiers nearby. I'm pretty sure this is a lie. Basically, she just doesn't want
Well, we
Dana
do
to go
know
there.
the soldiers are snooping around the creek because we're going to see them in a second. But
either way,
also, he just doesn't want them coming there.
Right. Kale is brought to one of the passengers who seems not to be doing very well. The soldier thinks it was Wander Peterson's, a statement which makes me think that they know more about what's going on here than they've been letting on.
They definitely know more. They definitely understand how the passengers are linked to specific revivers. But I'm still confused. How did they come to the conclusion that this is Wanda's?
Yeah, that is...
How do they even know what happened to Wanda? They don't have that tape.
Right.
The police had that tape.
Fair enough.
Last we knew, they were still looking for Wanda. So where did they get that information that Wanda was taken out of the equation?
Not sure. So she says to let the sheriff go. They don't need him anymore, and presumably they don't need the other revivers anymore either.
Yeah, they don't care anymore because they have this, the passenger creature. This is what they wanted. And let's just take a moment to think about that. That's really sad. So this creature's like dying or something because Wanda is gone. Wanda's body's gone.
Right.
We don't know what that means for this, but it's not good. It's just like laying here
dying
or in this really, it looks painful. It's making noises. And now it's going to be taken by the government and studied.
To be experimented on.
And that's horrible.
It is.
That's horrifying. That's the real horror right here, is what's happening with this passenger.
Very sad. At Jeannie's house, Dana discovers a book, I think written by Aaron Weimer. We don't actually see it.
Yeah, it says it's Banks of the Broken Creek by Aaron Weimer.
Okay, you saw that somehow? Because
I paused.
I looked several times.
Right on the book.
Oh, okay. All right. So, Jeannie declares that it was basically boring, about water.
Not a romance novel like she thought.
Yeah, and she basically asked, while she talks, we see Em waking up at the mill. Dana is surprised and asks if she's seen an Aaron Weimer lecture.
Yeah, because she was talking about how he even did gave a mind-numbing speech about the book.
Right. Jeannie says it's on a tape. Dana asks to see it. She starts to watch it, and Dana asks why she even has it. And Jeannie says it was all Lester's stuff. Before it abruptly cuts to a sex tape, which is way more information than I wanted about these two.
But I thought it was funny. I thought this was a great way to give us the reveal.
Yeah.
It's like, well, we need a reason to have Lester not have his shirt on.
Right.
And this was an amusing way to do it.
So she paused it before she has to explain the birds and the bees to Cooper, who I'm sure already has some kind of inkling as to that. But then she discovers the marking on his chest. And Dana comes to an important realization.
You know what? I find it interesting that they managed to tape over this tape. Right. You would think Lester would find this speech important to him. Right. Yet they managed to tape over that tape.
I mean, I guess his priorities are in the wrong place. And some might say the right place. But anyway, M is hearing the call of the passenger.
Oh, and I just one more comment. Jeannie seems to be completely oblivious.
Yeah.
If there's any question, I do not think she's involved in anything. Right. Because she has no idea. She's talking about the symbol on Lester's chest. She's like, oh, I always hated that thing.
It's like Celtic.
She goes, but he's Irish. Right. It's just an Irish thing. It's like, no.
No. That's the kind of marking you would see on somebody in a cult. Yeah. So Jeannie is kind of stupid, but that's okay.
But I mean, she could be acting. But I don't think she knows anything.
Right. Yeah. All right. So M hears the call of the passenger. She finds it behind a door. We don't actually see it yet, but we see a glowing purple.
Purple. It's not yellow. Right. It's yellow too, but it's got this purple hue to it. It's different than all the other ones.
Right. Lester from behind her, meanwhile, is all casual-like when he says, "Oh, hi, Em. How are you?" He doesn't actually say, "Oh, how are you?" But
he is wearing the ritual getup. Yep. He's got the mask in his hand, and he's wearing the robe, and his creepy chest is exposed.
Yes. Yep. Em says to him in horror that it was him all along. It was him that killed her. And Lester denies it in a very unconvincing way, by the way. It was her professor that killed her. M isn't buying it and says she should return the favor. Lester says if she does that, she will never know the truth. He says the water made her feel better because it's one of the few places on Earth where the line between oblivion and awareness is the thinnest. I have no idea what he's talking about, and yeah.
I mean, so this water's special.
Yes.
Because of whatever reason, this is one of the few spots, he's saying, where it's possible to open this door that they're opening. And I'm going to guess by the end of the episode I know another one of those spots.
Okay. Oh, yeah, perhaps. He has to let him help her because he needs her. The world needs her. It's just bluster from Lester. Is he like...
I mean,
I know he wants to help himself, but does he actually care about the world?
Much like much like Blaine, Lester believes in his own Kool-Aid, right? Mm-hmm. And he's right. Like, he knows there's something here, obviously.
Right.
Yes, his main goal is to preserve his own life. But I do think he also has sort of a God complex. Like, yes, once I can control my life, this is a gift I can give the world. Okay. Where we can control who lives and who dies. Right. And even after watching this a few times, and we're going to go through everything he said here, I still don't really understand what he was trying to do exactly. Right. And I don't know if we're supposed to by the end of the episode, but yeah, I think he's sincere about it. I don't think it's like completely in a... What's the word I'm looking for? Like, he's not just trying to be benevolent. Okay. But I don't think he's just like, I just care about myself. Right. I think he wants to take care of himself and then be the keeper of the world.
Okay, so yeah, he has some big, grand ambitions for sure. Em asks why she had to die. Lester says she wasn't part of his plan. That was all Aaron. His wife's sickness and his infidelity basically made it so he was basically killing two birds with one stone. Almost literally.
Yeah, so that sounds like, according to Lester at least, the affair was legit. We had postulated that possibly the affair was just to get M. Right. Specifically, and this is making it sound like, no, Aaron was having an affair with M and then decided to make her the victim.
Right, which, after all this time of, was it Aaron? Was it someone else? In that episode, whatever scene where he gets killed, he's like, oh, but I really care about you. I could never hurt you. That was all bullshit, at least according to Lester.
Right.
It was Aaron all along that killed her.
So basically, Aaron's plan was to make it look like a suicide, which explains why she was left at the bridge.
Right.
It explains why it was different than what happened with Rose, where they hid the body. And the basic of it is that he was doing all of this without Lester even knowing.
The other thing is, a couple of weeks ago, I noticed an image that you had put in our folder.
Yeah, it was one of the pictures that Bell Media had put out.
Right, and it was of
Aaron
over her, basically holding her into the water.
Right. And then Masked Man was nearby.
Yeah, which seems
Antler Man.
Which seems super spoilery, because I think it was actually from this episode.
Well, I still didn't see that specific.
No.
Frame. But here's the thing: Bell Media has always put out very different images than NBCUniversal puts out, and for this episode. I mean, we have all the pictures here, that you're watching now while we talk, but ahead of the episode, I was very careful not to share any of those because the ones from Bell Media are super spoily. Lester's in all of them in this getup.
Oh, okay.
The ones NBC put out, because we get press photos from both NBC and Bell Media, the NBC ones are just like church stuff.
Right.
And I don't know if it was Luke or Aaron, one of them I saw posted on social media a day or two ago, oh, all the press photos you've seen so far are only from the first 12 minutes. There's lots still to come. And I'm like, oh, not the Bell Media ones. Bell Media put out all the photos.
Oops.
So I've been doing my part of not sharing that, even in our thumbnail here. I have a picture of him, but I covered his face. So anybody who sees the thumbnail but hasn't watched the episode yet isn't necessarily going to be spoiled by that.
Gotcha. All right, so he calls Aaron a sloppy man when he basically left his car on his property, and he had Blaine towed away, and he realized that Aaron intended to cut him out. Yeah,
so they were in this together, right? But they had, this night wasn't part of the plan, part of Lester's plan. Aaron was doing this without Lester, and if Aaron hadn't left that rental car sitting on Lester's property, Lester wouldn't have known it was happening.
Right. So he did his best to tie up Aaron's loose ends. We see a shot of Brent, who was working for him. That basically he was never working for the checks. That was not what was going on. Brent was working for Lester. Lester says that there's some collateral damage, but he had to see, and we get a shot of Dana, who's basically been injured and getting wheeled into the hospital.
I like that we're getting all of these flashbacky moments, and they're putting the pieces together. They're trying to explain all the clues that were there and how they fit in. We were confirmed that it was Lester Aaron was talking to on the phone after his office was ransacked.
But he had to see this through for the world. And she asks, what was he trying to do? He says, what we are all trying to do. Live for as long as possible. Em is very angry at this point, saying that this was about how basically making his old ass living longer. Lester says it isn't just about him. He asks, can you imagine giving the gift of eternal life? Now, basically, he's literally proclaiming himself God here.
Yeah.
Or that's what he's trying to be. Em says he took life, didn't give it. Rose, for instance. She goes on a long emotional rant before Lester hugs her. Lester says they needed a young woman capable of creating life. That's interesting.
They needed a vessel, he said. So, in other words, whatever ritual they're doing, it had to be a fertile woman, is what they're saying. And we're seeing, all these flashbacks. We see Rose getting taken from the bus stop. It's really they're filling in the story. I had to watch the scene a few times because there's just so much being thrown at us here.
They thought that through her death, it would allow them to open a door. It almost worked, but not quite.
So something went wrong.
Right. It was enough for him to know he was right, and that is why he built the mill.
Or he bought the mill.
He
bought the mill and built all this, is what he said.
Gotcha.
The mill already existed, but he's converting the mill for whatever ritualistic shit he's trying to do.
But then he calls Aaron a petulant ex-lover who wanted to steal it all for himself. And we see Aaron drowning M. We see that she's glowing. Lester narrates that he wanted to take home to his wife to save her, but Lester wouldn't allow it. As she starts to glow, he hits Aaron out of the way. Lester yells and apologizes for his temper to M. And Lester says that Rose's death and her death resulted in life. They have reunited families. He says M did that. He calls her special, but she denies it, saying that Lester just used her. Lester calls her the key, something in her unlocking the door, and we see a big beam of light which flings Lester back and sends M into the sky before she crashes back into the water. And M says to Lester that she's ready to make sure he rots in prison. Lester asks, "Don't you want to see it? Behind the door lies her purpose. He couldn't let Blaine take this one," and we find out that Lester was in fact the one that killed Blaine's men, including Doug, potentially.
Doug and Clarice, and the one that didn't have a name.
As it belonged to her. He says it will make her whole. He says the decision is hers. Basically, she doesn't have to join with the creature if she doesn't want to. He opens the door to reveal the purple creature. M looks at it in awe, and Lester tells her to follow it into the water. It goes into the water, and Lester behind her says she knows this is a lot to take in, but she is in fact special. And then we see her mom seemingly coming out of the water.
Yeah, it was almost like the passenger...
Like talking to her, using her mom.
Turned into the mom.
Yeah. I think this is maybe the passenger's way of communicating with her, I guess.
Right.
I don't think it's the same situation as what we had a couple episodes back when she was talking to her mom.
I don't know. Like,
no?
It's a question, right?
Mm-hmm. Yes.
Like, is she hallucinating? Is this actually, like, a projection the passenger's doing?
Right.
Is it some shit Lester's doing?
Right. Yeah, I'm not sure. So it beckons her, and it says it forgives her. M comes closer and closer. M and her mother embrace, with M facing away from her mother. She lowers herself into the water, and then we see Lester holding her under the water, basically drowning her. Energy seems to be flowing into Lester, but Dana is now shooting at Lester. She's come from nowhere to save the day, but she's having no effect. Lester comes at Dana. His mask falls off. His eyes are going blue, but then
purple. I thought
purple,
like the same. Yeah. The light is in his eyes now.
That's what I meant.
Yeah.
And then M literally rips his heart out.
And if
he
we
dies.
thought the kill with the arm bone was graphic, she literally rips his heart out of his chest.
I can watch the heart being ripped out of her chest, out of Lester's chest, any time of the week. I can't. I cringe horribly every time I watch that episode 6 scene with her like breaking her own bones and then using it to stab somebody. But anyway, so Lester is pretty much dead. But she says that. Oh, and by the way, what was I about to say here? I don't remember. But I'll get back to that. But something's not quite right.
Yeah, M says something's wrong. She seems like she's having trouble breathing.
Yep. Dana and M embrace. Dana says it'll be okay. But then M seemingly dissolves into a blinding blue light. M is gone.
I described it something like a sonic boom.
Right.
Like it wasn't quite like, when Jordan meshed with her passenger.
Yeah.
This is different. This is explosive.
What I was going to say, and it just occurred to me, is that the whole thing with Lester choking Dana and M coming to the rescue is very reminiscent of the first episode where M saves her from Arlene.
Sure. Yeah.
I'm sure that's a deliberate full circle moment there. Okay, so we have a blurry shot from Dana's perspective. Pretty cool. The police have arrived on the scene. Wayne finds her and asks where Dana is.
Where Martha is.
Where Martha is.
Yeah.
Right.
All right, so let's pause here for a second before
we
move on to the other part of the episode. And I don't want to get too deep into the big picture because we're going to talk about that next week, but a lot of stuff happened.
Yes.
In these mill scenes.
Mm-hmm.
So Lester's dead.
Yes.
M is disappeared.
Right.
Whatever they were doing, though, whatever Lester's goal was, it was interrupted.
Yes.
So similarly to the way Lester interrupted what Aaron was doing on revival night, which I'm confused by that too, how he was supposed to bring it home to his wife. I don't think I understand what that means.
Maybe he has like a little bottle that he
like, I don't understand what he was trying to do.
Yeah.
That it was going to save his wife versus what happened, which was make, people dead for 14 days come back to life. Was that supposed to happen? Was that part of the plan, or was that a side effect because it was interrupted?
Right.
I don't know. But whatever Lester's trying to do is, like, finish the ceremony so that he can get the life.
Right.
Is he literally trying to steal M's life? Is it, like, what's he doing? I don't really understand. But it involved her merging with her passenger, her soul.
Right.
But it also involved, like, having to be in the water while it happened. And it involved him... Somehow something was happening, like physically involving him, because we had the light in his eyes.
Yes.
So it wasn't just, you know what I'm saying? We don't really know what the heck he's doing.
Right.
But again, it was interrupted because Dana came and shot him and pulled them all out of what was happening before it finished, whatever it was.
Right.
So there's a lot of questions there, and we'll dig into all of that more next week, but that's what I want everybody to think about, is what's really happening in this scene. Yes. I don't have the answers, but
it's a obviously crucial scene,
right?
That I don't fully understand.
So we're gonna keep thinking about that and talk about it in more detail next week.
So it cuts to 35 days later.
Again, like you said, mirroring. We're now mirroring exactly what happened in the pilot, where we had done a 35-day jump after Revival Day. It's now 35 days after this day, which I don't know what we're calling this day, the Mill Day.
Right.
And we're seeing almost an identical scene, which I thought this scene was perfect.
Yep.
It's the same scene basically as when what did I call him, Hudson? When Cooper went back to school,
right,
after Revival Day, and Dana's trying to get him ready, and he's like, "I'm already ready, and I'm eating breakfast," and they even have the same lines.
Right. And
also playing on the TV is almost the same news broadcast. And here's where I want to point something out. The she's not a reporter. The
host.
The host, like the talk show host. That's Jamie. Remember I said I didn't know who this character was?
Oh,
Jamie Hine, who I couldn't figure out who that was in episode 1.
Gotcha.
Was in this episode. And again, I went, who is that? Played by Karen Knox. We talked about her credits in episode 1, but I didn't know who she was. This is her.
Okay.
This is the person talking to Delish.
Gotcha.
On the, like the talk show.
All right, so Delish is basically on the TV announcing that he's spoken to the governor and that Reviver citizens now have rights. Well, good for them. And it's kind of hard not to see Delish in a new light, given his actions in the latter half of the season. He's not quite the good guy that he comes off on TV. That's for sure.
He's giving this. Now, he always gave this message. His message was always like, we don't need to fear them. Everything's cool. But this time he's admitting that his wife is one.
Right.
And he's saying, oh, yeah, we had to keep that secret to protect my family, which is kind of...
I mean, it's true.
It's true, but also, like, that doesn't sound noble. Like,
no.
Yeah, I was lying to everybody.
Yeah, you would figure you would get some kind of backlash for that.
I mean, here's the thing. Everybody has done shit, and they all should have backlash.
Yes.
And it feels like the entire community is just putting a lot of the stuff that happened in the last couple episodes under the rug and pretending it never happened.
This is not even the worst example of that. We'll get there.
And Jamie mentions something about, she's asking about, like, the military involvement, but now they're gone suddenly. What's that all about? And Delish, this is where he says the scope of Kale's investigation... No, the scope of Kale's... I don't know what word this is supposed to be. I have a typo here. It's not... Basically, like, she was doing stuff that wasn't sanctioned.
Okay.
And it's investigated. They're investigating it now.
Gotcha.
So that's kind of, I guess, it's okay that, we broke in and into a federal facility and let everybody out, because she was doing stuff she wasn't supposed to do in the first place.
Okay.
So they're just kind of like, evening the scales and like, we all did bad shit, but it doesn't
cool.
matter.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. I actually initially questioned that, like, like how Wayne and Co. and everybody involved with that wasn't in jail.
Right.
Because, I mean, after, watching it multiple times and hearing what you just had to say, it now makes sense to me.
And I guess, like, Kale is the one taking the brunt of stuff because she got civilians killed.
Right.
Is where we're landing.
But also, I think that Kale doesn't necessarily care because she has what she needs.
Right.
And she might be falling on her sword intentionally.
And maybe, like, the general population doesn't really know everything that happened.
Right.
Because everybody involved in it is happy to cover it up.
All right, so, like you said, we have that same scene play out with Dana, mirroring back to the pilot episode. Cooper says he shouldn't have to unpack because he already packed it in the first place.
Yeah, so they're not moving now.
Right.
They're staying put intentionally.
Dana says sometimes life is unfair, and then she sends him off to the bus. Wayne is in his office, his ex-office, as it turns out. He's either getting sacked or stepping down. This might also be repercussions for everything that happened. Like, maybe...
Yeah, I definitely think, like, as far as the Force goes, he's the one taking responsibility.
Right.
But it's unclear.
Right.
Did he step down intentionally? Is he being fired? Did he have no choice but to step down, which is really being fired, but not on paper?
Maybe it's like,
or
Kale is taking the brunt from her side, and then Wayne is taking it from this side.
Right,
basically.
but we don't know exactly under what circumstances this is happening.
So,
but also, why did it take 35 days for him to pack up and leave?
I don't know. Either way, the new sheriff in town is going to be JP. And basically, I mean, I guess this is an acting role because they mentioned a runoff election.
Yeah, so he's basically getting the position interimly.
Right.
But because sheriff is it's an elected position. So he has it until the election can run to see whether he's going to keep it or it's going to be somebody that runs against him.
My vote is on JP.
Yeah, we were told everybody trusts JP, and I was so worried that meant we shouldn't, but apparently we can. He's one of the good guys.
I mean, for now.
Now.
Next season, he could turn out to be the evil.
We also learned in this scene that JP stands for John Paul.
That's good to know.
Yeah, Wayne called him John Paul, so
all right.
There we go.
And, he basically, JP ends up telling him the leak that Dana's been complaining about for years now actually originated in Wayne's office. I'm not sure how exactly.
Yeah, and I thought this was going to lead to something else, like we're going to discover something in the roof, but I think it was literally just like, yeah, he's already a better sheriff because he's fixing the frickin' leak in the office that's been there for 2 years.
It just pay off for that running joke for the rest of the season.
It's like, yeah, I'm going to change things around here. I'm going to do things different.
Right.
Better.
Professor Ibrahim pays Dana a visit.
With donuts.
And yeah, that's important. He's now staying in Wausau as a teacher, which will keep him close to the creek and he's continuing his studies there.
Yeah, he's taking on a short-term residency at the university. I guess they had an opening.
Yeah, and Dana's like...
Because they're down a professor.
Right. Something happened to him. I'm not sure what. But yeah, and Dana's like, oh, is that the only reason you're sticking around for some fungus? And, they're really...
Algae.
Yeah, algae.
Not fungus. Different.
Yes. The relationship status seems really uncertain here. They don't seem really together.
No, they definitely haven't broached that. Which, again, it's been 35 days. We should have gotten a little further in this story, but whatever.
Yeah. So Dana reads something that M wrote. As we see flashes of Rhodey in a band somewhere. Blaine doing his radio program. This is the worst example right here. All right, so Blaine broke out of protective custody, kidnapped Ibrahim, shot the sheriff. He didn't die, but that's at the very least attempted murder.
Yeah.
So he should be in prison.
I mean, Blaine did the most crimes of anybody throughout this season.
Yes.
He's kidnapping people. Right. He murdered Wanda.
Yes.
And if they have rights now, that's a thing.
Yes.
Yeah, he's done a lot of things.
Yeah. But, I mean, it would make sense if we were doing his radio program from prison. But no, it seems like he's still back in the same old studio.
Yeah.
Anyway, Nithya is getting her cancer treatment. Wayne is visiting his wife's grave. It's listed that she died in 2005. There's no specific dates, however, but at least they got that right when they were doing that. Dana and Kay talk about missing M. Dana reveals that she thinks that Kay was the one that suggested them go to the bridge that night that resulted in her death. Kay says, that is not so. They weren't really friends back then. They became cool, but they were not really that close back then.
Which is something I had questioned.
Right.
Like, it didn't seem like they were friends at the beginning, and then suddenly, you know, she's her ride or die. And I like that we got some explanation on that here.
Right.
That Kay is like, well, yeah, that's what happened. We weren't friends until after Revival Day.
Kay thinks it was probably one of her online friends that sent that message. So Dana looks through M's things at home and finds a computer.
Her brick of a laptop.
Right.
From 2008.
She boots it right up. It should be dead because if it's just been sitting in a box for 35 days, there's no way it kept its charge, but whatever. She ends up finding a bunch of messages from a mysterious person telling her to go to the bridge that night. And she has May look into it. Meanwhile, Wayne calls her from his car. Not sure where he's at exactly, but he's suggesting that he could watch Cooper. And he's emotional. I'm not sure where his headspace is, but he's not necessarily in the greatest of place. Mm-hmm. Dana doesn't think that's a good idea. Cooper still misses M, and he blames Wayne for it. We're not really sure as to why that is the case.
I'm very confused by that. Like, I mean, what?
Why?
What is Wayne taking the blame for as far as Cooper's concerned? Wayne wasn't there for any of this.
I mean, it's a child's emotions, and that doesn't mean that they need to be logical.
Sure, but Dana is, like, keeping her son away from her father, and I don't understand why.
I don't think it's necessarily her decision. I think maybe it's because Cooper has these anger feelings towards Wayne for whatever reason, for whatever childlike logic.
Like, she should be encouraging them to change that opinion, not
maybe
you haven't been allowed to see your grandson in over a month and we're going to keep it that way.
Maybe. I think it might just be like giving Cooper some space, which, you know, $35 days is a lot of space, but
yeah,
I'm not totally sure. She could also be harboring I'm sure she still is harboring resentment for the fact that Wayne kept the fact that he was sleeping with Delicia's wife, and that he was not. That's the reason why he didn't pick up the phone call.
Yeah, we have reasons why Dana might not be happy with her dad, but I don't understand this conversation and like what we're blaming Wayne for.
Well, we're missing a lot of context here, you know. But so she suggests if he needs to talk, they could. And Wayne doesn't seem to really.
He hesitates.
Right, he doesn't have the ability to say anything.
And she's like, okay, bye.
Right. Meanwhile, May calls her back and says the messages came from inside the house.
The Weimar house.
Specifically. Which makes Dana basically say, well, that tracks. I mean, it was Aaron basically leading her to the bridge that night. But then May says that Nathia went out of her way to get M's case. And this causes Dana to go knock on Weimer's house.
Right, so now we think Nathia might have been the one to send the messages and was goading M along this whole time.
And then we cut to Nathia stitching together a hoodie. She gives it to a mysterious person who turns out to be M. Very much not dead.
Well, there's M.
Yes.
Yeah.
Whether it's actually
M. She's
M.
got this kind of evil look on her face.
Right.
Like, she's not just, like, having tea.
No.
She's a girl on a mission.
She's in some unknown location.
She walks to a window, and the camera pans out. We're left looking at an A-frame cabin. There's nothing else around. It's a lake and some mountains.
Now,
And this is where you go,
what? Exactly. But you did identify the location.
Okay, so I plugged this little image of this cabin into ChatGPT. I was like, ignore the cabin and show me the setting, because I had in my mind that the cabin was a set and just the background was like a green screen CGI for the location. But after a little bit of digging, it turned out that the cabin itself is an actual location in this mountain range, which it's in Iceland. It's in the West Fjords of Iceland.
Right.
And this cabin is actually a well-known cabin. It's an abandoned building. There's been tons of photography done of this exact location. Now, I do not think, actually I know, that they didn't travel to Iceland and film on location. The cabin itself wasn't CGI. They just put M in the window.
Gosh.
So literally I found this clip that they used out there on the internet with sans M, but the clip of the cabin and panning out like the literal exact clip I found out there on stock footage website.
Okay, that's funny.
So they used that and they inserted M, which is innovative, you know, because obviously their whole point's to do the show on a budget,
right,
and not like go to Egypt and film the pyramids and spend your whole budget on that.
Right, so they didn't literally travel to Iceland to get this one shot.
But that makes me think Iceland, this lake or whatever it is, might be one of those other places where the veil is thin.
Okay.
That Lester had mentioned.
Rend the veil. Okay,
Yeah.
That's the point, the meaning behind the episode. All right, and that's where the episode ends. Of course, at this point, we're asking, why is Nithya with M? Why is M at all?
Why is M at all? Why are we here? How are we here?
Right. Yeah.
I have a theory. Should I mention it here or save it for next week? I'll mention it and then we'll talk about it more next week. Is this M?
Right. Oh, yeah. We did discuss this.
Did Lester's soul go into M's body?
And
was it Lester that pulled Lester's own heart out because, like, they were switching or something? Is his I'm trying to live forever not about stealing her life force, but about stealing her body and going into a younger body?
That would mean that you would basically have to keep doing that. Like,
it would mean we get to have Romy back, but not necessarily M.
Well, that would be kind of depressing.
But could there be some way to reverse that?
Right.
You know?
I mean, it's also
like,
possible.
Is her soul still out there somewhere?
Right.
And we could reverse that through some other season 2 thing.
Maybe M's soul in this theory of yours is right where it is.
Maybe they're both in there.
Yeah, exactly.
And he's just kind of controlling her body. I mean, we've seen plenty of genre television do that, right? Where two different, like, life forces and souls and personas are occupying one body and fighting for it. See The 100, season 6? One of the later seasons. Where the whole season was about that.
Well, I hope we get...
So I think that's a plausible what might be happening here and explaining why Nithya is with him, because Nithya obviously was working with Lester and Aaron.
I still don't know that that's necessarily true, that she was working with them. I mean, if this is not... But if this is just M, then maybe she was working at cross purposes with
I mean, maybe.
Lester.
We don't know. Yeah. And let's dig into all that a little more next week.
Yeah,
because otherwise this is going to become 2 hours long.
Right. And
I have one cast person I want to mention. We had a young M who appeared in 2 of the flashback scenes.
Okay.
Like, all these scenes where we're just seeing, like, scene after scene after scene after scene.
Right, yeah.
A couple different places. We saw young M interacting with...
Dana,
yeah. I was getting confused with Teen Dana for a second. That's a different scene. She was in this too. But young M was a new actor. This is Reagan McNeil. Her only other credit was a 2023 short called Visit.
Okay.
So she appeared as young M. She was like maybe 10 or so.
Gotcha.
And this was the clip was Dana giving her the journal with the where's that place they're going? Myrtle Beach.
Okay.
Gave her the Myrtle Beach pamphlet.
In
the journal that Dana found in the notebook. So this was her giving it to her. This is when they were like, this was their plan to go to the beach, right? We're going to go to Myrtle Beach and we're going to have an adventure, and then it never happened because she got pregnant with Cooper. So this was a flashback to that moment where we got to meet this actress for like half a second.
Awesome.
So, I mean, that's somebody they could bring back in another season as we see more flashbacks to the history of this family. And maybe we make it to Myrtle Beach.
Perhaps.
Maybe we get M back. They haven't closed the door on M. Like, that would be weird if we killed off one of our main characters.
Well, I mean, throughout the once we got to 35 days, I'm like, M's going to show up at any moment now.
Yeah, like I couldn't be happy with the fact that, Romy's gone.
Right. Well, the actress herself is okay.
That would make it hard to go into a season 2, I think.
Right.
If she was just gone. Like, she's the second person on the billing, right?
Right, yeah. I mean, I'd have to think that she is a popular character, And, Romy is, of course, a very talented person, so we don't want to lose her for season 2.
So, whatever the case may be, if we get a season 2, Romy's going to be in it.
Yes.
In what capacity, I don't really understand. But we didn't lose her.
Right.
And also, one more time, and I mean, this doesn't fit this episode, and this is probably a better comment for next week, but it just came in my head again, is we didn't lose Mark Little either.
No.
Remember, he's got a twin brother.
Yeah, that's true.
We'll talk about him. I got some theories about that. We have a lot to discuss still next week.
Yep, absolutely.
Outside the scope of this episode, where we're going to talk about, all of our characters and where we're at and what questions do we still have. Because a lot of questions got answered, but there's still plenty of threads hanging that we're hopeful to continue talking about in season 2.
Right, yeah.
So we're going to do that next week, a season follow-up, and hopefully we're working on bringing you some other content related to this series as well over the next couple weeks.
Yeah, we got some exciting possibilities brewing.
Not going to name them yet because it's not in stone, but we're working on stuff.
Yep, we are. And of course, we're going to continue doing all of our other stuff as well.
All of our other stuff. We have 2 episodes left of The Institute. The next one airs this Sunday. Check that out.
Yep.
And then we're going to go back to finish Quantum Leap, original series, season 5. We're going to eventually go back to talking about Under the Dome. We've got a lot of other one-off content we're looking to cover. And then on Netflix...
we should have said that at the top.
Right.
Yeah.
Netflix just recently got Quantum Leap 2022.
Yep.
So that's back in the air again.
Yeah.
As well as Sullivan's Crossing is on Netflix. So stuff we've covered is circulating again.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah, so if you're interested in those shows, all of that's already on our channel. So go check all that out.
Absolutely.
We have 1,400 videos on this channel.
Yep.
About 300 of them is the podcast proper. And tons and tons and tons of stuff that you did on your own, Dave.
Yes, absolutely. I find some of that stuff to be a little cringeworthy to listen to.
Yeah, the older stuff.
Yeah, but nevertheless, it's there.
It's there.
I would recommend listening to some of my older stuff on a higher speed. But yes. All right, we'd like to hear from you. What did you think of this podcast? What did you think of this episode, this season?
Yeah, give us your thoughts on the season.
Yes.
And we will shout them out next week during our season wrap-up.
All right, Stacie can be reached at.
I can be reached on Twitter, X, Instagram, Threads, and Blue Sky at TVN Coupon Talk.
If you like this video and want to support the channel, there are ways to do so. You can follow me on Twitter at Core Productions. You can join the Core Productions Facebook page. You can buy something from the Core Productions store on Zazzle. You can buy me a coffee. You can join the Core Productions membership for 99 cents a month. And of course, you can like, share, and comment on this video as well as subscribe to the channel. This is Dave and Stacie from Core Productions, signing off.